Welcome back, everyone, to another Company of Heroes 2 replay cast. And this time it is going to be a 3v3. Sent in by... oh boy. Oh, really now? I guess someone followed me on Twitch or something. Anyway, if you heard that, I am sorry. It is sent in by Strucklen. Strucklen is going to be playing as the Wehrmacht on Across the Rhine. His buddies are going to be Cat plus User and DB Speed. All of them Wehrmacht, so that is pretty evil. Really now the Reichsfestung is what they call it. Whatever. The enemies are going to be Bob the House playing as the Soviets. What is this guy's name? It's Giosef playing as the USF, and Mongols as the UKF. So, this map, I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm sure you've never forgotten about it. I mean, if you forget about Across the Rhine is going to strangle you in your sleep. So, you know. Of course, in case you've forgotten, let's just check it out. Kind of an annoying center with some red cover. Why is it so loud? I feel like it's loud. With some lovely cover over here. That everyone can use, and kind of favors the access in the early game. Of course, the left-hand side of its field point, very close to the access base. Right side, field point, very close to the allied bit. Z. We all know how it is. So let's just get it rolling. First engagement, probably not good for those infantry sections because the MG42, but they decided to pull back with the MG42 and the Pioneers. Probably because they don't want the Pioneers to die. Second MG42 from Strucklen. Actually, two MG42s, yes, from Strucklen. One of them is going to cover the other, and the first one does get the suppression on the rear echelon troops, but at point-blank range, before the rifleman can get behind him, he gets the suppression and a lot of damage off on the first rifleman squad. That is a lot of damage, almost wiping it out. Very good. He's now going to try to dodge that mortar fire. Look at those dance moves by the MG42, and yeah, that is pretty good. That is pretty good. A pretty good beginning for Strucklen, who has picked the elite troops. So we're gonna see a Tiger Ace later on, I think, and that's kind of interesting. I haven't seen Tiger Aces be used well in a long while. Anyway, machine gun is capturing the center. Look at this smart. Actually, this is pretty smart. He decided to position the MG outside the circle. Outside the capping circle, because he knows that his opponent's mortar is likely to target somewhere inside there. So having just the regular guys inside the circle and capturing that means that that positioning is kind of unexpected, and it's likely that the mortars will somehow miss. So now that he has captured that, VP will likely just move back a little bit. He's also trying to provide support to his ally, who's getting pushed back. Bob the House has managed to control the southern sort of depression area, where there's just a whole lot of nothing right now for Nazi Germany. As you can see, one of those grenadiers is trying to come back around. Actually, that's a freshly built grenadier squad, whereas all the other squads over here trying to just retreat and escape and survive. Two MGs, yeah, they're trying to do something, but they're lucky that the Soviet player over here does not have a mortar. Let's just say that. Because these two MGs are not in the best of positions to really fight off people from multiple angles, and in fact they're gonna get punished right now because of it. Here comes the conscripts trying to get behind there. Luckily for Strucklen, these conscripts don't really have, just barely can't get the burst. He's lucky that he does not have those RPG-43. Not the RPG-43, sorry, the Molotov cocktails. See, I was thinking RGD-43, you know, the anti-personnel grenade, but yeah, obviously doesn't have the Molotovs, so he can't really do the wiping out as he would like. Yeah, and really now. Or Grenadiers. I'm not sure about that. I think that that's a pretty bad decision on the part of the Germans, because if we're honest, like at this point, what the Germans need to do is they need to try to recover, because these first few engagements have not gone well for them. So going for more Grenadiers might not be the best idea. I like this better. Wait, he was doing sharpshooter, right? Yeah, never mind me. I'm just retarded. See, the sniper is a good idea because it's going to help him at dealing with especially the British guy, because one sniper shot equals a quarter of the infantry section, plus to deal with any of the support weapons. And as a whole, I would say that the sniper is the best pick he could have gone for right now. Are any of these Germans going for tiers or something like that? They're trying to tech up. Struklen isn't teching up. DB Speed has Battle Phase 1, just as Cat User has Battle Phase 1. So, kind of slow teching on the German side, to be completely honest. They need to find some other way. Because as you can see right now, their current setup is not really working. It's not giving them what they want. And these machine guns are getting flanked, they're getting mortared. As much as they can do some damage, oh boy, this is gonna be pretty bad. They're lucky that that grenade missed. Mills bomb does not get the desired effect, but the Lee Enfield rifle fire from those infantry sections, with that accurate, disciplined fire from the infantry Tommies, they're just gonna absolutely obliterate these MGs. They might even capture one of them. Yeah, I feel like this squad should really capture that MG42. That would be a very, very, very good. In fact, they can capture at least one, if not the second one. Is there another squad over here that can capture? Well, maybe this rifleman squad, but no, the infantry section is forced away by the sniper. Does not want to get wiped out because right now, if it were to try to capture a machine gun, it would dissolve into the machine gun crew. So that is lucky for the Germans. Lucky, lucky, lucky. The Nazi occult really serving them well. And we do have some stormtroopers from Struklen. Of course, that's because he has elite troops. He's going to try to Panzerfaust that AEC. That is okay. It's not like he's going to do too much with that, though. Sorry, I'm pouring water for myself, so I can't really follow the camera too well. Oh, yet more Grenadiers from Cat plus User. Trying to get behind there, and unfortunately, not really enough. Tried to get a rifle grenade for some reason into there, and that was clearly never going to work. A half-track is on the field for Joseph, and now he's going to essentially defend that center area with the flak half-track. Also, stormtroopers can't really do too much against it. Get the machine gun, please. That is... Oh no, he didn't get the machine gun. Guys, get support weapons. Support weapons are good. Get them. Capture them. Don't let your enemy have them. Support weapons, they're good. Anyway. That aside. Isn't this a little extreme? Damn. So 2 machine guns up here might be a little bit much for Cat plus User. Might be a little bit much. It doesn't need 2 machine guns to hold that field point. I would keep this machine gun somewhere over here and just let this machine gun defend the point. Especially because, yeah, like the German troops in the center do need some help. Looks like one of the machine guns was retaken by one side. Oh, it was the British. Good. So good for the Allies. They were also able to wipe out another Grenadier squad with a grenade. So that is good. The Allies just absolutely pouring forward on all fronts. And the Germans need to find some way to counter all of this. One good way is going to be to prevent them from just using vehicles like that. So here comes the anti-tank, the Panzerschrecks, and the Pak-40 for DB Speed. That is good for him. He's preventing, excessively bad things from happening from there. Also Pak-40 on the field for Cat plus User. Struklen still does not have packs, but he's got a Panzerfaust. Can the Panzerfaust? No, he does not have the Panzerfaust because he doesn't have the munitions. So the Pak-40 is going to be frustrated in its attempt to destroy those 2 vehicles, both the flak half-track and the AEC scout car. However, that is good that the Axis went for early AT like that, because this is going to prevent the Allies from making use as much of their resource superiority. And as you can see, because they have the resource advantage, they were trying to get those early light vehicles, and it almost did work. Fortunately for the Axis, they were able to essentially be forewarned in time, and now get the counters out to defeat them. So very, very well done. Unfortunately, also a bit of a misplay by Joseph. He had those units there repairing way too close to the front line, so that was a very, very big mistake, I would say. And now, oh boy, T-70 gonna run in against those Panzerschrecks, and that's gonna be the end of that Panzer Grenadier squad, I would say. Is he gonna chase it down? That would be a good idea, I think. Oh, yes, he does get that, but he charges in a little bit too close and gets the Panzerfaust to the face, also gets the pack to the face. Will he get the second pack shot to the face? Is there anything that's spotting him? Probably. It does not matter. Whether or not it was an auto shot or an attack round, it is the end of the T-70. So that is 2 out of the 3 light vehicles dead for 2 out of the 3 of the Allied players. Sniper is still alive, so actually the worst is over for the Sniper because he has evaded the enemy light vehicle threat. And so with those light vehicles dead, there's basically nothing else that can spot him except for the AC. So the Sniper is going to have relatively free reign to pick at Allied soldiers in the center. 2 American mortars are providing good support for the Allied units over here in the center, and quite a lot of damage is coming out of them. However, the Allies are, again, slowly but surely pushing in. The Axis are down to actually 192 VPs, which means that in some of these minutes, the Allies must have had some very, very massive triple capping. And right now, I think that I would focus on the triple capping if I were the Allies. Who cares about the points? Who cares about the resources? Let's go for the VPs and try to put as much pressure in on the Nazis as possible. Because, again, with the Allies, as I always say, better to win early. You never know what the Germans might be up to the late game. Although, I mean, this is a very, very team game on a map like Across the Rhine. So, basically, almost anything can happen. And there we are, second triple cap, but there is a P4 on the field for Struklen. So that's what he was going for. He actually skipped tier 2, which normally I would say it's a bad idea, but considering what his allies were doing in terms of getting a lot of tier 2 units out, I think that it's not the worst decision in his life, because he knew that his allies had something that was compensating. So that is good. Now he's got the P4 out. Unfortunately, it gets actually criticaled by the AC. Now it's trying to provide some extra support against this infantry. Does wipe out one of those squads. Very, very good. And now is going to fire up against that MG44. No, that's actually an MG42 that was stolen. So trying to clear out that machine gun nest with some good old 75mm HE. And that is doing its job exactly the way it should be. Sniper misses the shot. Panzer IV also misses the shot. There is an anti-tank gun over here for Yosef, who entered the captain tier and the lieutenant tier, and he's going with the heavy cavalry company, so he might be going with the Pershing early on, trying to avoid getting the major. That's probably not the best idea ever, but he could be trying to do that. The Allies on the right side with all of the Soviet fortifications don't really have anything to fear. In the center with, again, the mortars plus a few of these units, they don't have much to fear. It is the left-hand side that is being a theater right now for operations. And it seems like this AC is about to die. It's going to be chased down by the Stuk 3G. Stuk 3G, however, is not in the best of spots. Looks like he is going to survive that encounter. That Terabad encounter. You want something? I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what I want. Yeah. Scharfschütze. So the Germans not in the worst position, but still, triple cap, 76 VPs left. So you've got a minute and a half. Find a way to win. Well, not even a minute and a half. A minute and 15 seconds. Find some way to not lose. And here we are. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. They're trying to capture the North VP. Will they be able to? Probably. They're also trying to go for the center. Over here, though, there's a little bit more of Allied defenses. And, of course, there's also a pack howitzer, so that's not bad. What are the British doing, to be honest? They decided to pull back the Vickers machine gun. This is a mistake, in my opinion. They could have just left the Vickers machine gun up ahead, but I guess they're afraid of the sniper, and that's not the worst idea ever, because they should be afraid of the sniper. And oh boy, here comes the wipeout on a very, very good Grenadier squad. That is the last of the Grenadiers for DB Speed. That is very unfortunate for him. As the announcer says, we've only got 50 points remaining, so that is less than a minute if there's a triple cap, and less than 3 minutes if there's a double cap. So if the Allies can get a double cap, 3 more minutes and the Axis lose. Grenade, boom. P4 up. for Struklen, trying to do his own thing. He actually is kind of lucky to catch the AT gun kind of out of position, but the AT gun can get some good shots off on him. He's also lucky that there's no anti-tank grenades over here. The AEC decided not to chase down. That is very unfortunate. If the AEC had gone in behind the Panzer IV, then that Panzer IV would have been dead, rotting, and exploding carcasses of armor. Armor and metal. Grenadiers just trying their damn best, and that was an amazing rifle grenade. Doesn't matter if they're in cover, if they're at half HP, because the grenades only take about a half HP or 50% damage reduction from crossing cover. That is how the grenades work with cover. Still, he tried to essentially sacrifice the Grenadier squad to at least get the VP capture, but he didn't. He got the neutralization, which is fine, to be honest, because right now the Axis and the Allies are even. And the Axis are pushing in very, very aggressively up north with their Stugs. Hello, Imperial Dane. I don't know why people just like Stugs so much. I don't like Stugs. I don't like them. I just think that they're trash. Like, yeah, sure, they're versatile and they're cheap. Well, relatively versatile. But they're fucking pathetic. Like, they just don't do enough. Like, they do a few things okay, but they do nothing good. They don't particularly have, like, anything that can set them apart from any other vehicle in the game. I mean, they're good enough to take down an AEC. I'll grant them that. Here comes the Rangers. And soon enough, they're going to be joined by their Pershing. However, they're taking massive damage for the P4. That is exactly why you spend 35. Yes, count it. 35 more. No, actually 30. Sorry, I was remembering the old cost of the Panzer IV. So 30 more fuel for this thing. And you get such a better unit. It's got the same bloody gun. It's got the same gun. It doesn't matter. It's the P4 and not the Stug. It's got the same AT power. Although, well, that's actually not got the same AT power because this thing probably has a little bit more accuracy. I don't know the stats by heart, so I might be wrong. Might have some more accuracy, and also it's got the target weak point. So actually, the Stug is a little bit better in terms of AT. That's if you're just counting firepower, though. And you should not just be counting firepower, you should also be counting versatility. This thing does not have the turret, so Panzer IVs, man, they're a good unit. 2 Panzer IVs on the field for Struklen. There's also a P4 coming in for Cat Plus user. D-3485 from Bob the House is trying to flank around. The Mongols has a Firefly coming in from the rear, and that could be very, very bad for these Stugs. They're taking massive fire from these advanced mediums, or rather the first advanced medium. The second advanced medium is coming in, or rather, I guess you could say turret tank destroyer. He's coming in, and that could be pretty bad news for these Panzer IVs. In fact, it's definitely going to be pretty bad news for these Panzer IVs. But luckily for them, the Germans are really pushing hard and aggressively. I like this German push. They've been able to concentrate their forces up together and just kind of pour in the vehicles. Actually, it's not a Panzer IV. It's a Panzer IV command tank, which is good because that's going to support all the other German units in the area. So they've been able to concentrate all their forces and push together in the north and in the center. And with this superiority in terms of local forces, because the Soviets had some extra guys down south that they couldn't really use to help out their teammates. In terms of this superiority, the Germans were able to deal with the Allies. The Allies, despite having an advantage, are now being pushed back all the way to the base. The Germans need to, however, keep this force together. They need to not section off like one tank to go somewhere, another tank to go another way, send one tank in while the others are repairing or anything like that. They need to not do this, because if they do that, then they essentially go back to square one and they get killed piecemeal. Which is exactly what's happening right now. So it's not like I'm having to conjecture up anything too particular. It's literally what's going on right now on the screen. Oh boy. Hurrah. Do this shit long enough, you get good at it. Here comes something. Is that an incendiary artillery? No. It is an off-map smoke barrage. Very, very good usage of the off-map, because all of these support weapons are now worthless. Here comes also some kind of artillery strike. might be the...
Good news. The ability is ready for use.
What was that artillery strike? Can anyone explain this to me? Partially, it was the Su-76M. Might have been... No, he does not have the Major. Oh, no, he does have the Major. Okay, so that was Major already. Okay, never mind. Never mind. So taking a look at the overall situation, you can see that the Axis, while having essentially recovered some of their lost ground, which is good because otherwise they would have lost the game, they're still in a very, very precarious situation because if the Allies can just... Oh, there goes the Panzer IV. At least one of those Panzer IVs. I think that was Struckland's. Yes, that was one of Struckland's P4s. In fact, it was the veteran one. That's unfortunate. He's going for the P4 spam, which is fine because in 4 CPs he's going to have the Tiger Ace. So as much fuel as he uses right about now, and you know, as many tanks he can get out as possible, that is good for him. There goes the Firefly. Very, very good kill by the Allies, managing to use their not Cat 40, Pack 40 in conjunction with their armor, and now they're swarming back into the center. The Firefly was alone. The Allies were not alone with all their... Sorry, not the Allies. The Axis were not alone with all their vehicles, though. And as you can see, they're using this fact very, very well. Just coming in, absolutely swarming in. However, at this point, once again, Struckland's Panzer IVs go ahead a little bit too recklessly. And now they're alone against a lot of Allied stuff. So they need to be very, very careful, actually. There we go. It's a double cap for the Axis. This P4 is definitely moving in too far, though. Run away. Here comes the T-34-85 from the rear, but it's not needed. Actually, attack grounded by the Su-76M. Very, very well done by the Allies. Bob the House, though, 1,700 manpower. My friend, comrade, you should fight. You should, like, fight enemies every once in a while. If you fight enemies, you're going to take casualties, you're going to trade, and you're going to need to replenish them with your manpower. So you're not going to float manpower. And if you are going to float manpower anyway, you might as well trade and use that manpower for something. Because this way, oh look, Struckland has 880 manpower. Cat Plus User has 790 manpower. DB Speed doesn't have as much manpower, but that's because he's like the lord of soft. He's got 3, 6, 9, 11 soft units. So he hasn't teched. He just hasn't teched till later game. He's got 460 fuel in the bank. Might be waiting for the Tiger or something. See, these are the two extremes of not good, both DB Speed and Bob the House, in terms of resource usage, of course. But oh well. Oh boy, the Sherman is dead. Once again, the Allies being very, very reckless with their armor. They lost their Firefly earlier. They lost their light vehicles earlier. They lost their T-34-85 even, and now they lose the Sherman. They need to be careful because they know that the Axis has so many pack guns. They know that the Axis has the Panzer IVs to support those pack guns. So they need to be careful. They need to, before they go in, use some kind of recon. You do have, no, you don't have the Major. You know, repurchase the Major. It's only 150 manpower. Repurchase the Major and get yourself some Major recon. Use the fact that the Bob the House guy can get some mortars out. Get some mortars out and use some flares. Just do anything to get recon out. And of course, with the recon, you have information. Use it. Don't just rush straight into the pack guns. Get around them. Try to use the fact that you control the southern flank of the map. The same goes for the Germans, by the way. Use your recon. You don't want to just charge in there and get fucked. This Panzer IV is very lucky. Very, very lucky. He uses blitzkrieg tactics, gets the hell out of there. That was close. That was close, and it was incredible luck. That Panzer IV should be dead. Actually, one of Struckland's other Panzer IVs also died, so yeah, things aren't looking that good for Struckland. Anyway, Struckland is actually going for tier 4. He's not going for tier 4, but he's got a lot of resources in the bank. I wonder what he's trying to pull. I don't know. Hey, at least Cap Plus User is using some of his resources. But still, he's liking these Stugs way too much. He has gone for the tier 4 and he's getting that Panzerwerfer, which is, in my opinion, a very, very good choice because it's going to really crush this. Really, really crush it. And I'm not sure why the Allies are not moving up this. Because if they moved up this to, like, here, they could hold and capture the center. And that would be the end of the Allies. Sorry, not the Allies, the Axis. Because the Allies are down to... The Axis are down to 40. Anyway, Stuka close air support gets a bit of damage off on the Firefly. Firefly is forced to escape. There goes the Sturmovik. Shot down by who knows what. And this sniper is actually still alive, so good for him. Yeah, what are these players trying to do? Well, Strickland is getting some more Panzer IVs, and he does have the big Papa Pump, or rather the medium Papa Pump. The big Papa Pump is the KT, but he does have the Tiger Ace. That is a very, very good choice. Although he might have been too early, and oh boy, he has lost his P4. If he doesn't lose his P4 this time, he's lucky. Here comes the attack rounds. Okay, he survives. Lucky. Lucky. I actually don't know where Strickland is from, but yeah, he's very lucky. He must be Irish. So Sherman trying to come in. Oh my god, Yusuf, you are heavy cavalry company. You can get the M2, not M2, M26 Pershing heavy tank. It is a very, very good heavy tank. Please get the M26 Pershing heavy tank. It is a very good decision. Oh well. Heavy Panzer is ready. And the Nazis now have a triple cap, so that's not good for the Allies. But what they have in their favor is that they still have better infantry, for the most part. And I think they're still slightly ahead when it comes to the pop cap game. Nah, it's more or less even. Okay, so that is kind of fine for them. The south, however, has been finally cleared of Allied forces by Strickland. Strickland has lost the P4 in that, and that's actually very bad because there's two ways of dealing with the Tiger Ace. You either kill everything else and try to slow it down as much as possible, or you try to kill it as fast as possible, because there's two aspects about the Tiger Ace that can seriously screw the elite troops player. One is the fact that you can only have one of them. So it's like your trump card, right? If you lose it, you can't ever use it again, and then you're just kind of a mediocre spearhead type of doctrine. You're just one of those generic, I have a call-in heavy tank types of doctrines, except they don't have the call-in heavy tank anymore, so it's not good. And then, of course, there's the other thing, which is like the resource penalty. So you can either, you can essentially play into those two things, or you can play around them. If you're the Allies, playing around them means that you're going to be trying to destroy the other units and slow down the Tiger Ace as much as possible, because as long as the Tiger Ace is into play, there's this lovely little resource problem, you know? Okay. And as long as they have that resource problem, they can't really replenish the other units that they lose. Damn, right now the Allies are getting just completely crushed. They're losing all their important stuff. No, are they going to lose the S2 heavy tank as well from the armored assault? Please don't tell me. So the Tiger Ace is, he has the Blitzkrieg, so he can probably chase it down. He's moving up the Su-76M to try to save it. And actually the Tiger is stuck due to the half-track, so that's incredibly lucky for the Allies. Still though, what I was saying is that with the Tiger Ace, of course, what you want to do, absolutely, is kill everything around it, try to like damage the engine of it or something like that, because Well, if it can't get help, it's only a Tiger Ace, so it can't really do too much, and I think that that's going to be the end of the Tiger Ace. He was kind of unlucky that the S-76 penetrated, but yeah. Here comes the Panzer Tactician. He manages to save itself. In the center, a pack of captures, and in the north, the whole point is locked down by a MG42. That is good. Combat unit ready for action. That is a Ranger squad. Cool beans. Here comes the two Stugs. Right now the P4 is in a very, very bad spot. Okay, at least he goes down. The Jackson can try to do something, but here comes something. What is that? Is that a L2 Sturmovik attacks? Yeah, well. The S-76M decides to suicide for some reason. And now the P4 is moving in. The P4 smells blood. It smells blood, but unfortunately it smells blood in two directions. There's both the Jackson that is very, very heavily damaged and can be finished off very quickly. And there is the S2 heavy tank that has a lot of damage and can be finished off. But one of them is finished off by the Stug Free. The Sherman Firefly is trying to come in. Yet another Sherman Firefly to help. But for some reason, this S2 is deciding to move in, despite the fact that he should be moving back to repair. Ent Firefly is trying to survive and help out, but really, Mongols has been losing these things like flies. Is it like the third or fourth one that he has right now? It is the fourth one. So really needs to be a lot more careful with these expensive tanks. Tiger Ace is still around and hasn't been doing all that much. For the cost that it's been having, it's been kind of a disappointment. And that's kind of the thing about the Tiger Ace. It really needs to perform, otherwise it's a lot of wasted resources. However, as long as it's there, it's going to be menacing. Definitely, we can say that. And right now, as you can see, the infantry section is trying to move in to stop this capturing. But it's not the best idea to do this, because as the Allies right now, you don't want to be losing your valuable veteran units just to, like, I don't know, neutralize the point for 2 seconds longer. It is the Allies that have the VP advantage, 296 to 26. So considering that they have 10 times the tickets of the Germans, they are the ones who should be a little bit more defensive in their play and trying to use conservative type of measures. Conservative in the sense that they need to essentially preserve their better units and try to attrition out the Axis a little bit more, and then when they're ready, move for the decisive push and be essentially only holding the points they need to hold, which would be the center and the south. Because right now they don't need a triple cap. Like, if they were getting a double cap, they would take down essentially 1 VP every 3 seconds. So that would mean you can make the count yourself. It's essentially, yeah, 9 ticks, right? Wait, no, 1 VP every 3 seconds. So sorry, no, that's not how it works. It would be a minute and a half. Would it be? Hold on, I'm retarded right about now. Yes, it would be. It would be a minute and something. It would be a minute and something. So what they need to do is, oh my god, they keep sending in these units piecemeal and getting them wiped out by the Germans. That is exactly the opposite of what they need to do. They need to be concentrating their forces as much as possible. That's pretty bad. However, the Pershing is on the field, which is great. And right now, Damaged Engine on the Tiger Ace. Damaged Engine plus the Pershing chasing it. He's lucky. He is lucky that there's the Pak 40 over there, because otherwise the Pershing might have been able to chase him down and kill him. However, this does not end the troubles for the Germans. They still need to, once again, because of their VP situation, they need to be on the spot when it comes to the VPs. They can't afford to allow the Allies to have any leeway. And DB Speed is still not going for any armor. That's kind of an interesting decision for him.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
We've been promoted.
Enemy forces are
There goes that half truck.
Enemies inflicting losses upon us.
See, like, look at this. What would happen if this, along with our repaired Pershing, along with our repaired Firefly, along with all this British infantry, along with some support to clear this bunker, were to attack the center? It would crush everything that's here. Like, I just don't see how the Axis could hold if all of the allies came at them at once. But they're not coming at them at once. And Bob the House has a very, very strong force and is now able to hold the south. So, what happens, or rather what should happen, is that the allies concentrate and attack into the center. Bob the House puts up some pressure from the south. And there we go, the allies have the double cap. Once they have the double cap, they win, because they just need to hold it for literally not a lot of seconds. I really don't know, man. I really don't know. This is, I think, a big, big issue for the allies. They just can't make the one big push that they need to. They don't realize that the early game is over. The time of harassment is over. You need to just get all of your guys together and smash into the enemy lines. Just damn the casualties. Who gives a shit? Just move in and do all of that. Now they're trying to do that, it seems. They've got a big infantry push coming, but the Panzerwerfer gets some clipping on the British guy, and the British guy escapes even with intact squads that could have been continuing the fight. That's not good. However, at least the Americans are moving in. They're getting some grenades off on the Pioneers. That's not like the most important thing ever, but it's fine. The conscripts are coming in. They're gonna get Tiger Aced, I think. The Tiger Ace needs to use free fire. Here it is. Fires on the Allied infantry, but there's no armor. Where is the armor? Where is the armor? You need to get your armor and support. Where is the armor? Soviet player, you sent in your 4 conscript squads. Why did you not send your T-34s in as well? Trying to get a flank off. Not here, because you know that there's a pack here. Around here. Maybe getting some minesweepers there first might be a good decision. Looks like he did try to get the minesweepers there first, so at least to his credit, that is good. But try to flank around, try to get the IS-2 into a position that it can fire on the central area, and especially, where the hell is the Firefly? It got shot at. I don't know, man. It's just... Of course, the Allied infantry alone is going to die. Also, where are the Allied AT guns? Like, Bob the House has 1,500 manpower. Although, I mean, he is out of pop cap. And finally, it looks like BB Speed has a Tiger. Oh, look, finally the Allies have a chance of capturing the center point. And right now, the Stugs are coming in, and the Stugs are probably going to kill this lovely Shimmer Firefly. Yep, it's dead. Now one of the Stugs is gonna die from Pershing, but here comes the support, and there we go. The Axis regain control of the center. That is sad. And what are the Allies doing to stop this? Not much, to be honest. Like, the Tiger Ace right now is not really all that dangerous, as you can see. Oh, look, finally the Soviet player is sending in the S2. Maybe now he's going to try to do something, but he's sending in the S2 without the infantry. Come with the infantry. Combined arms, man. You need the combined arms. And, oh, look, the British came in with the infantry, but they got Panzerwerfered. What if there were more infantry squads around here? Right now, the Germans would be in a little bit more trouble than they are, although they wouldn't be in that much trouble because of all the failed offensives earlier. So now the Germans are in a much better position than they should be. A bit of a throw from the Allies, I think. Like, at this point, how are they going to deal with this iron wall of defenses? Like, there's just way too much up here. Yep. There's way too much in here. And there's way too much protecting the southern flank from the Soviet player. So at this point, barring that they get a lot of artillery and they can use the artillery well, yeah, they're kind of boned. Finally, though, at least one of these allied players is trying something else. The American player tries to move up north from a slightly different direction, and they're gonna destroy that house with that MG42. So that's pretty good for them. Still, though, it might be one, a little bit too late, two, a little bit too little, because there's not any support. Again, he's moved in alone, and look, there's forces from 2 German players countering him right now. At the meantime, at least the Soviet player is trying to do something down south and gets the kill on one of these machine guns. That's not the worst thing in the planet, but in the north right now, the Comet and the Pershing are being pushed back all the way to the base, and the swarm of Axis steel is just charging down into the forward retreat point of the Allies. So it would be important right now for the Soviet player to do something more important and kill a machine gun. He's now trying to do that, but his armor is completely alone because the infantry is, I don't know, off somewhere else, and only now has reached the front line. So that allows the Pax to get a lot of damage off on the T-34-85. And it also allows the Axis to get some more defenses into place. Although the Tiger is definitely moving in a little bit too recklessly, it's gonna get AT grenaded and probably going to die. Yep. In the north, we have the big push coming in from the Axis, and they're doing a lot of damage to the Allies here. However, with only the Stugs and Panzer IV, not really much that can happen here. And right now, it seems like Strickland's forces are moving down here. The Tiger is somehow still alive. One of the T-34-85s dies to the flank of that armored force from Strickland. And there goes the S2 as well. Look at that superior German coordination. That is absolutely giving them the victory. Like, the Allies just going in like headless chickens, one at a time. Whereas the Germans, they're supporting each other. They're providing help where it's needed, and it's giving them just such a huge advantage. I think that there's nothing that they can do anymore. Yep. One T-34-85 against all of this, can't do much. So now the Germans get the triple cap because the machine guns can't deal with this alone. Finally, some help comes in the form of the Comet. Where is the Pershing? It's in the center, not really doing too much. Actually, no, that's the Jackson. The Pershing is actually back at base being repaired. No coordination at all. The S2 dies. Or rather, the second S2 dies. Here comes a big German push actually up in the north. Will it be supported by other German players? This time it isn't, but is it really necessary at this point to help out? I mean, this is such a big push, and there's so little that the Allies can do to stop it. They're moving in, of course, with whatever they have in terms of anti-vehicle, but it might be a little bit too late because the Pershing comes in. Oh, look, there's a lot of veterans Stugs, and they can use the target weak point, so this might not be the best thing. There goes the Pershing. What the vet-free Stug is going to die because of that, but who gives a shit? He killed a Pershing. Molotov cocktail. Here comes a couple T-34-85s, but once again, it's a little bit too late. And yeah, 50 points. So there's now the count at which the Allies are at. And with the triple cap, it's likely going to be a very, very painful and quick death. Guga, my teammates are useless. I mean, I wouldn't really say, like, if you don't try to work with your teammates, it's not gonna work anyway. Oi. Yeah, see, I was trying to think if there's like any other systemic reasons why the Allied lost. But, well, yeah, except like sometimes recklessly throwing vehicles away. Croatia. What the fuck? Zadom, spremni. Zadom, bracia. Da obrane naše domove. Whatever. Retarded Croatia Is that a... Oh, that's just a round. Anyway, see, except for just throwing away vehicles and terrible coordination, I don't really know if the Allies did that much wrong. But yeah, that's going to be the end. So I want to thank you all for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this Company of Heroes cast, and I will see you soon. Thank you. I'll see you.